His name is Aaron Smith, and although he's currently on tour with Michael W. Smith playing keys, his first memory of listening to Christian music was actually right here on Spirit 105.3. So Aaron joins us. I'm so glad. Will you tell me, when was your first memory of this music?
Probably before I was forming long-term memories. You know, my my parents were listening to it. Gosh, I remember listening to Michael W. Smith, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Crystal Lewis, Sandy Patty, like, you know, all the legends of like the 80s and 90s. Yes, really since before I can remember.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in just south of Seattle, in little seaside town, Des Moines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to church in SeaTac, so kind of had this little pocket of South Seattle I grew up in. And yeah, I mean, Spirit 105.3 was always on in our house. Even before it was Spirit 105.3, I believe it was KCMS.
Yeah.
So I remember back that far.
And so grew up listening, and then were you musically inclined as a kid, or did that come later?
Yeah, so both my parents were involved in music in our church. My dad was a worship leader. My mom was involved as well. So it kind of just naturally was in the house. I'm sure just them constantly having music on, as well as like taking me and my sister to worship team practice when they would go, just kind of always around it. So if I was musically inclined, it was just because they shaped me that way, just constantly being around all that music.
And when did you decide to start really pursuing it? Like, tell me, was it high school, after high school?
Yeah, I was 10 years old, I think, when I started playing drums on the worship team. Helped having a dad who's in charge of the whole ministry there at church, you know. So
Right.
I was able to get some early experience just practicing playing with a band and learning the basics of music. I started playing piano as well at age 12, I think, and ended up playing in high school, jazz band, concert band, things of that nature, but always played in church all the way growing up. So I would say my interest in music, like pursuing it as a career, started even before high school. It was sort of one of those things, like I always knew that I wanted to do. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. I met with someone in high school who was actually an alumni of Belmont University, where I ended up attending college in Nashville, and just spoke highly of it and was kind of like, if you want to get into this as a career, this is a great place to start. It's in Nashville. It's kind of what you'd call an industry feeder school. Like, you go there, you'll learn a lot, you'll make connections. So that's the way I did, and ultimately led to getting to do what I do now, though, you know, it's a longer story than that. But I would say getting to Belmont in Nashville and making that kind of leap of faith to move across the country away from family and everything was kind of the first step of like, okay, I'm really doing this.
So tell me, like, I mean, you're on one of your dream gigs right now, touring the country, playing keys for Michael W. Smith, playing the songs that you grew up listening to. How many full circle moments do you have each night from stage?
Oh, gosh, it happens all the time. I will say a really particularly strong one was this past Christmas. You know, as many of us know, he's kind of the king of Christmas as far as Christian music is concerned. He has 5 records out, 5 Christmas records now. And I just learning the music, I already knew a lot of it, but just getting it under my fingers for this past Christmas tour, just so many moments where I was like, I remember listening to this keyboard part as a kid, as like a 4 or 5-year-old kid, and going, wow, like that's incredible. I really want to learn how to play that. And then, you know, fast forward like 30 years, and here I am getting to sit behind a keyboard on stage with the guy who, you know, came up with it all, made it all happen. It's been surreal.
I can't even begin to imagine how proud your parents are.
Oh, well, they're going to be more proud than I'm ever going to know or understand, probably. They've been probably my biggest supporters in doing this whole thing, from everything from paying for private lessons when I was a kid, sending me to college, and always just kind of being encouraging of my dream, and always helping to like temper some realism in there too. But for the most part, never coming down saying like, oh, you know, that might be a little too high of a goal. You should maybe, you know, think more practically, like they've just always been a huge support of like, okay, this is what you want to do. This is what you feel called to do. Like you should do it. And we're here to support you in whatever way we can. So that, yeah, they're actually going to be at the show in Tacoma at the Pantages Theater on Wednesday. So I'm sure they'll enjoy that.
They're just going to be watching you the whole time.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll, at least enjoy some of the other stuff going on as well. Cause I am up there on stage with many legends, Michael being the obvious one, but over on guitars, we have Stu G, who helped form the band Delirious and has been playing with Michael for over 10 years. And a couple of my other really good friends on drums and bass as well. And everyone is really a master in their own right. It's a huge honor for me to be up there with these guys. And so I hope anyone who's at the show just really appreciates not just like the music and the songs, which are incredible, but also just the musicianship of these really incredibly gifted people that I get to share the stage with.
Give us a little preview. What's your favorite moment of the night?
It's hard to pick one. I would say at the moment we have sort of reimagined the song Breathe, which Michael kind of made popular on his worship album. And it's sort of like a stripped down acoustic vibe. And I'm actually playing acoustic guitar on that one along with Stu. And it's a really fun reimagination of that song. So at the moment, that's my favorite. But I think the showstopper at this point is the kind of this reimagining we've done of Awesome God, the Rich Mullins classic. Which Michael himself says I think he's reimagined like 5 different versions of it. This is version number 5, and it feels a little more like a cinematic, like movie trailer than a worship song. So it's pretty fun to play, and it's a pretty impactful moment in the show as well.
We were talking earlier about how proud your parents are, and I think you have a new appreciation for that because on your Instagram, the most beautiful photo that you've posted anywhere is of a sweet little one named Cora.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. She's 5 months old, almost 5, and she's at home right now with my champion hero wife who's holding down the fort while I'm out here on the road. Family means more than anything, and I'm really blessed to have those 2 wonderful women in my life just supporting me. It's not easy. It's not easy for anyone who's out here, whether in artists or band or crew, to have family, kids at home that we love and miss terribly, and they miss us. And we're doing it for a reason, for a purpose, and for a calling. So shout out to all the families, spouses, and children, in Nashville and everywhere who are just backing us up. Amazing.
First of all, I echo that 100% to your wife. Is her name Katie? Is that what I saw?
Katie, yeah, that's her name.
Okay. I am just so happy to be able to have a moment to talk with you and hear a little bit more about your story and encourage people to go to the show. I know you've got Yakima, you've got Bremerton, and you've got Tacoma.
Yep, that's right. And I know it's a little further away, but Spokane as well, over in Eastern Washington on Monday next week.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, no, we covered a lot of ground. I'm just trying to think, I know there's probably a lot of people who listen to this station who maybe have dreams or aspirations of getting to play, either as an artist or as in band, or just, be involved in the Christian music industry in some way. And so, I hope that getting to hear from someone who's done that, is encouraging and inspiring in some way. It's definitely been no one's path into doing this is a straight line. It's so many twists and turns, and that has been true for me. But I think that for me, what I found out early on that works for me is just saying, okay, God, this is what I want. I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to ask you for it, and then just do the best that I can, bring my best self to the table, and just let you take care of the rest. And it has not happened always as fast as I wanted it to, but it's been way better than I could have ever imagined.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad you shared all that. Yeah, because when you have a dream like a God-sized dream, I think it would be our first tendency to talk ourselves out of it. Like you could have easily thought there's so many musicians out there, it's such a competitive field. I should just stay small. But instead you did what you just said. You kind of handed those desires and you placed them in God's hands and watched what he did.
It's easy to look at big dreams like that and look at the statistics and go, really the odds are against me in this. But then sometimes I just think about how the people who are really living out their calling are usually defying the odds. They're usually not listening to or playing by the statistics. So it just kind of reminds me of like, if I feel like there's a calling on in my heart to do something that I really care about, I don't have to worry about that kind of thing as much as just focusing on, okay, God, what's the next thing you have for me to do? I'm going to do that, trust the rest to you, see where all that leads.
Aaron, that's such a good word.
Oh, thank you.
Before I let you go, you loved the game, so we're going to play it.
Oh,
do you remember the rules?
No.
We got the rules.
I do. This is going to be embarrassing. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and face my fears here. Let's do the
so you
game.
get 10 seconds. I'm going to give you a topic that I want you to talk about, and then you get 10 seconds to talk about it without saying
Okay.
And this is a whole new generation listening to Spirit that has never heard this game be played before. So you're the inaugural one. We no longer have a bell in here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's weird. Where'd the bell go?
Oh, it's in the closet somewhere.
It's in the prize closet. Okay, let me get you a topic. What's one of your favorite hobbies?
Rock climbing.
Okay. 10 seconds. Tell me about rock climbing and go.
Rock climbing is the best way to face your fears and have a good time doing it. You get on your shoes and harness, and you put your hands and feet on the wall. You go up. You don't look down, and you just keep going. You don't try to muscle your way through it. You put your feet in the right place.
You did it. You did it. And I told you 10 seconds, but I made you go 20 because I don't remember how much. 10 felt too short, so I made you go 20. So you did it. You passed.
Thank you. I think it was 20 originally, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm
10
putting
felt too
bullets over
easy.
here.
And you did it perfectly, so.
Oh, man, amazing. That actually reminds me, I was going to mention one funny thing about the game. There was a friend of ours in the church that I grew up in who was an electrician, I think worked for Boeing, and he at some point just built a radio transmitter that was like would transmit the farthest range that you could without needing like an FCC license. And so after church, a lot of days, my sister and I would plug in like a microphone and a CD player, and we would have our own little radio station. We even use the cassette tape recorder to record like commercials off of Spirit 105.3 that we would just re-air on our little station. And we absolutely played the game. And actually, now that I remember, I actually reached out to Scott once over email and asked, hey, I have this little radio station. Can you give me some topics for the game? And he actually replied with a few topics that got us started. Frozen peas was one of them. I'm really glad you didn't make me talk about frozen peas.
Frozen peas. Yeah. People are supposed to talk. I gave you an easy one. I gave you one that you like. Frozen peas, that would be hard.
I know. I feel like I cheated by getting to talk about something that I really like. So, I'll take it though.
Well, I'm so thrilled for you and your wife and your sweet little baby. If anybody wants to see her, you can follow Aaron on Instagram. Let me find it again. What's the name?
Oh, yeah. It's at Aaron Daniel Smith is my Instagram account.
Yep. You got to go check out sweet little Cora. Aaron says he said, consider my heart permanently melted. I'm a serious mess over here. Spoken like any brand new girl dad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's got me wrapped around her finger for the rest of my life. That's for sure.
Oh, well, we're just thrilled for you. I loved hearing the backstory, and I'm so thankful that, you got to you and I share it in common, just the power of music that honors and glorifies God and just the power of music. And then now getting to be a part of it in a different way. I'm so happy to be able to host you and have you share your story.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot for you to reach out to this guy who grew up listening to this station and get to come back and have a chat with you. It's really meaningful. So, yeah, thanks so much for the call, Sarah.